Welcome to 4 Minute Friday, where we take 4 minutes, maybe a touch longer or a touch shorter some weeks, to talk about a leadership principle that will help us lead more like Jesus. A while ago, I found myself driving a friend who was a far more seasoned leader than I. And we were traveling a far distance, so I had lots of time to pick his brain, and I asked him, what's the most valuable lesson in leadership you can share with me? He thought for a long, hard time about it, and he said in very diplomatic fashion, he said, to be a non-anxious presence. He shared that in his first church placement, he was responsible for a lot of changes. And there were some in the church who were not happy with him at all, and they chose to voice that to him on a regular basis. And so he applied this lesson to each of those conversations. To be a non-anxious presence. Let me break it down for you. There are two parts to this which can be seen so clearly in Jesus' life. He was actually a master of the non-anxious presence. So the first part is non-anxious. It's to not take on or induce anxiety in another. As leaders, we often have far more power than those who come to criticize or attack or hurt or maim or express their pain or anger. It's extremely easy to wield that power to hurt the person back as they've just hurt you. It's similar to when the people on the cross told Jesus to save yourself. He surely could have. He could have given them what they deserved, but for their salvation and for ours, he adopted a non-anxious presence. He absorbed their anger. We cannot allow ourselves to deliberately say things to cause anxiety in another. Now, granted, some of what we may say may cause anxiety, but a non-anxious presence is about doing all we can to reduce the anxiety in the interaction. If you develop a non-anxious presence, people will trust you. They will talk to you about anything because you're safe. They need a leader who will not let their own anxieties flare or damage the anxieties that they bring to the conversation. And the second part is presence. How tempting is it to run away when we're attacked or hurt or injured, especially when we don't deserve it? Presence says, for your sake, for the sake of the kingdom and the other person, I will stay here, non-anxiously, to see where God takes this conversation. Presence also means that I won't steer clear of that person. I won't treat them any differently to anyone else. I won't give them dirty looks or talk about them behind their back. I'll stay present in the relationship as much as they will allow. You know, our world is not familiar with the non-anxious presence. It's born from the gospel, but it's such an excellent way to reveal the heart of Jesus to others, to be a non-anxious presence. And if you're leading well, you will in the next week or two discover an opportunity to exercise this and use this, hopefully not too often. But if you can be a non-anxious presence to those you lead, you will be able to lead them further, and you'll be able to become a better leader who is safer for people to follow. And so I encourage you into that with these questions, which you can talk about in a group, you can share with a friend, or you can personally mull over and chew on to see what you might discover from them. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye.